Hi, I'm Alex, welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. So in today's video we're going to be talking about Golden Nugget Online Gaming, and it's a big video today. There's two really important updates. Now the first of these is the December filings. Now earlier today the state of New Jersey published the online gaming revenues for all players in the market, and from that we can determine how Golden Nugget Online Gaming has performed. We'll go into this in much more detail shortly and analyse what this means for the valuation, but in short it's really good news. And the second important thing to discuss in this video is the analyst price target released on Golden Nugget Online Gaming by Mike Hickey at Benchmark. Again, this is really positive, so if you're an investor in Golden Nugget Online Gaming, this is one you definitely don't want to miss. If you're new to the channel and you like investing related content, then hit that subscribe button. My unpredictable upload schedule is not popular with the YouTube algorithm, which means that oftentimes my videos aren't showing up on people's homepages. So if you want to make sure you don't miss those, hit the bell next to the subscribe button and hopefully they should be appearing on your homepage then. If you like the video, please smash the like button, and as always, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only, but let's get straight into it. So earlier today, as they do every month, the state of New Jersey released the revenues generated by gaming companies in the state, and from that we can ascertain how Golden Nugget has performed. Now all investors, especially those who've followed Golden Nugget on the channel for a while, I think we're expecting a very strong month in December, and they absolutely delivered on that. The report for December outlined revenues of just under $30 million, which represents a 70% growth on December in the previous year. That's fantastic growth and really positive to see. Now one important thing to note here, and is a function of how the regulation works in New Jersey, is that this filing is for Golden Nugget Atlantic City. So whilst this figure does include revenues generated by Golden Nugget Online Gaming, it does also include some revenues generated by other operators which also operate under the Golden Nugget Atlantic Casino regulation. In a previous video we've covered who they are, however that's not really important here. The important thing here to understand is how much of that revenue generated in December is attributable to Golden Nugget, and ultimately what that means for the whole year worth of revenues that Golden Nugget Online Gaming has generated. In 2019, we know that Golden Nugget accounted for around 34.4% of that overall figure. Now for the sake of conservatism, in this analysis we're going to assume that percentage, despite the fact that now Golden Nugget likely represents a slightly larger portion of this, given that they've been one of the fastest growing operators in the space. So taking that 34.4%, which we assume is attributed to Golden Nugget Online Gaming, and applying that to the full year's worth of revenues generated in New Jersey, that being just less than $319 million, that implies a gross gaming revenue for Golden Nugget Online Gaming of just less than $110 million. In order to compare this to the figures in the investor presentation, we need to understand what this means in terms of net gaming revenues, the difference between gross and net gaming revenues being that which paid out to customers, promotions, taxes paid, etc. Using the same margin that was delivered in the first half of 2020, that gives us a net gaming revenue figure of $96.5 million. Now, let's quickly flash back to the investor presentation. We should remind ourselves of the expectation we had when we made the investment into Golden Nugget Online Gaming for the revenues for the full year 2020. As you can see, the forecast was $86 million. On the basis of this, perhaps conservative analysis, we're assuming that Golden Nugget has generated $96.5 million of revenue. That's a 12% outperformance of this expectation. That's amazing news, and this in itself should really drive an increase in the share price from here. However, this is not the end of it, and this is where it gets even more exciting. Firstly, we need to understand what this increase in growth means ultimately for the 2021 revenue figure. From there, we can look at it in two ways, a conservative way and a bullish way, to ascertain what that ultimately could mean for the stock price going forward. Firstly, let's look at it in the conservative way. So, looking at the investor presentation, we know the growth that management were originally forecasting from 2020 to 2021. That is a growth rate of around 42%. Now, given we have a better understanding of what the business really did generate for as revenues in 2020, we can apply that same growth rate to the 2020 figure to give us an implied 2021 revenue figure. Under this conservative case, that gives you a revenue of around $137 million for 2021. Now, the next step is to apply an enterprise value sales multiple to this. Now, assuming 15 times, which in itself is a massive discount to some of the big players in the market, for example DraftKings, which trade at a big premium to this multiple really is conservative, and I think most people do think it will trade in excess of this. However, taking that and running it through the analysis, that gives you a share price of around $29. Now keep that figure in mind, because it's also important when we come on to talk about the analyst price targets in a minute. However, now let's follow through the bullish case and the bullish analysis here. When comparing 2020 to 2019 on a monthly basis, in other words, the average growth that was delivered on the same month in the previous year comes to just over 77%. Now if we apply that same 77.6% growth, that implies a 2021 revenue figure of around $171 million. Now for the sake of the valuation here, assume that Golden Nugget Online Gaming trades in line with DraftKings on an EV sales multiple basis. On that forward year sales multiple basis, from Seeking Alpha at this point in time, that is around 36 times. When you run that through the analysis, that equates to a share price of around $90. So ultimately, whichever way you look at it, we as investors in Golden Nugget should be really excited by this outperformance. Now, it goes without saying, this analysis has been done very quickly. It is very rough. However, directionally and indicatively, it is correct. If people are interested, I can do a much more detailed video where I run through the analysis in detail, step by step, explaining how I got to each figure, and ultimately give a much better understanding of where my current valuation targets are. However, that being said, that clearly is a bullish case, and personally, I sit somewhere in between those two share price targets. Now, over the coming weeks and months, we can expect more good news for Golden Nugget, not just financially for them, but also operationally as they expand into new states, and news of other states considering the legalization of online gaming. As investors, we have seen some turbulence in the stock price following the completion of the merger, but that absolutely was not unexpected. I now believe there'll be a swathe of good news which is going to drive the sentiment in the stock, and hopefully we see a further uplift in the valuation. Now, the second big update to discuss is Mike Hickey from Benchmark, who released his analyst report on Golden Nugget Online Gaming. In that report, he came out with a price target of around $27, and as we outlined before, on our analysis, that definitely is at the conservative end of the spectrum. This news was very well received by the market. We did see a jump in the valuation today. And personally, I would love to see that full report. He's clearly had better access to management than I have. He has more information and would love to understand from his report the analysis he's done and how he's got to those price targets. This is something that I will dig into and I will come back to you on. But ultimately, this is great news for the stock and great news for the valuation and stock price. But look, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the like button. If you're new to the channel and you like investing related content, then hit that subscribe button. And as always, please let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I find it so interesting to hear everyone's thoughts, opinions, perspectives, so please get involved. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.